If you skip this step, your house will never be easy to maintain. Today, I'm inviting you along as your tour guide while we explore the realm of zoning your home. Zoning your home is the concept of creating spaces for different categories and activities. Within those spaces, giving everything a like home. That can sound confusing, so I'm going to show you a different way of looking at zoning that makes more sense. The whole concept I've talked about like a million times before, usually in the kitchen. In fact, I have a whole video about it, but this is going to change the way you organize your home. So, quick example in the kitchen. You come, you need coffee. Think about the region being the kitchen. Regions are usually rooms, and then we can break that zone down further into cities. You see the coffee maker. This is beverage city, and beverage city means there's probably a neighborhood for coffee. Maybe you want tea. Coffee and tea are neighbors. So tea neighborhood would be located beside coffee neighborhood, and maybe you want to borrow a cup of sugar from your neighbor too. Everything from mug neighborhood, it's all within the same hot beverage city, and that is the concept of zoning. I realized when I showed you how to zone, I'm talking about specific things like a kitchen, but I failed to show you the entire universe, which is your home. And we have to start with creating a map of your universe, a map of your home. So grab a piece of paper. I mapped out my home the same way and start drawing each room. Rooms are going to be the regions. So we have the kitchen region, the living room region. This is your universe in your home. You can create like a gaming region. The big zone is the region. And then we take that a step further on your map and we start mapping out spaces for cities. Cities like your hot beverage city or your pet zone city. And then we break that down even further into neighborhoods like the dog treat neighborhood or the cat toy neighborhood. This is 100% the secret. So let's create our maps and start touring our organized home. So welcome aboard, folks, to your guided tour of organization. To your right, we have the entrance zone, or the landing zone, or the entrance region. And we can break that down further into cities. So coat and shoes, or mudroom city. And over here we have utility city. Basically, it's just where I keep things like batteries and household items, but each of those, that's a neighborhood. So in battery neighborhood, I have all kinds of different batteries, but if you were looking for something like a manual for something, you would think to look in the utility, the household utility city, and then it's really easy to find the neighborhood. This is the concept. Do you got it? Let's see. Pop quiz, my friends. You come to my home and you need an aspirin. What's the region you would look in for an aspirin? Go ahead. Say it out loud. The region for an aspirin. Yeah, that's right, the bathroom. And not everyone keeps their aspirins in the bathroom, but the majority of the time, that's the first place you would think to look. So that's probably where you should store that. Let's take a tour and learn more. An activity that I love is crafting. Where are my crafters at? Let me know in the comments below. So we have Creative Craft City, which is in my office because this is where I craft. You may be watching this and thinking, I don't have an entire room to dedicate to crafts, but you're a crafter. Where do you normally sit to engage in these crafts? And when you're zoning a space, even a region, a city, a neighborhood, it can be a drawer, it can be a cabinet, or it can be just one wall of your space. It doesn't have to be a huge amount of space. Inside my craft city, I have like Tool Town, this little neighborhood for all of my tools. All of my kids' crafts are zoned on this side, so if they want to do a craft, they know that this is their area. And all of my painting and crocheting is located over here. Just giving everything a little neighborhood means within that, I can have a special home for everything to go. Nothing gets lost and everything stays tidy. Another activity that I like to do is exercise. That is a lie. I do not like it and I do not do it enough. But I do have a space in my home, a region for exercise. And within that region, I store something that I call, I guess, Strength City. So anything I use for strength training, like dumbbells, or things that use my own body weight, like exercise balls or bands, it's all stored in one area. And maybe you don't have a big space like this to dedicate to exercise in your home, but you do in the living room like to do a little weightlifting. That's probably where you should store those like items. You should create a small zone in the space where you use it for all of your exercise related equipment. Now let's move to the attic region, which we lovingly call the friend zone. This is an attic space that we kind of reclaimed for our teenagers because we have 3 of them, and it's where they play video games. This is like the gaming city up here, so board games are here too. And this is also the space where when friends come over, they spend the night. So this pulls out into a bed. We also have a ton of air mattresses and pillows and blankets. This entire room just gets filled with teenagers. It smells terrible, but the point is, this is like sleepover city. And all the things we would need for a sleepover are all in this zone. And last but not least, we have the guest zone. This is usually where we have like snacks, we have drinks for people, extra blankets and towels and toiletries. Everything that a guest would need is all zoned in the guest city. And then we have the neighborhood, like the snack neighborhood. Am I hammering this home too hard? I hope you're getting the concept. Mapping this out, not only the whole room as a region, but then giving each wall a city or each little section a city, and then going further within that city and creating neighborhoods. And then within the neighborhood, everything has its own little house. That, my friends, is zoning. Welcome to Joe's office, or the office region. Here to the right, we have work city. This is where, obviously, he does work, but you'll also find a neighborhood for bill paying. His action file is right here. This over here, we would call like office supply city. And inside, there is actually a neighborhood for shipping and receiving. So everything you would need to ship and receive is in this neighborhood, which is close to all the other things you would need. And it's all within the city, which is office supplies. You know what I'm saying? You picking up what I'm putting down? I used to say all the time that the first step to getting organized is decluttering. And that's still true because everyone just wants to go right to the step of putting things in pretty baskets, you know, or decanting and making it look like the home edit. But not only have they missed decluttering, I mean, you can't organize excess, and organizing actually takes up more space. I digress. The most important step to organization after decluttering, like step 2, is zoning. So before you get pretty baskets and you worry about what things are going to look like, you have to literally map out the function of your space. You have to sketch every room, and then within that, decide where your categories or activities that you do within that room, where those items should live. And are they all together? Does it make sense? Can you be lazy? You should be walking like the least amount possible. Your dishes should be right beside your dishwasher. You know what I'm saying? It is about laziness, but more than that, it's about functionality. It's about conserving your energy and your time for more important things. And the coolest part is when you actually zone your home properly, it stays tidy all the time. So our bathroom region, I'm just gonna use my kid's bathroom as an example. Come with me on the tour of my children's bathroom. If we had a medicine cabinet, that's probably the first place you would look for an aspirin, but we don't have that. And looking here, you see cabinets. This is generally like get ready city. You're gonna find toothpaste. We actually have a neighborhood for Milo and a neighborhood for Abby with all the things they use to get ready in the morning or to get ready for bed. So look around. There's another city over here. There's a little closet here that we can call like essential city. And inside you'll see a neighborhood for first aid. So this is where we have obviously all the pain together, allergy together, because those are neighbors. And say you can find the aspirin, but you cut your hand while opening the bottle. Knowing that first aid, if you need a Band-Aid, is in the same neighborhood or they're neighbors with medicine, you could probably find the Band-Aid next door. Why this is important is because I will go to lots of clients' home to help organize, and they'll have cough syrup in the kitchen, and they'll have aspirin in their bedside table. And all of these things not being zoned into one central location that makes sense for even a stranger leads to mental fatigue, and it leads to clutter. It's why homes are always being organized and getting messy again, because they're not zoning. Here in the breakfast nook region, this is where we were naturally just feeding Penny. It was the place we put her dog bowls, so this is where we decided to keep her dog food too, which means we created Pet City. We didn't have storage in this space, so we got this really inexpensive bench to tuck here with baskets so that Pet City can have different neighborhoods for things like the dog treats. Now that we have a cat, the cat toys, the catnip, all of our pets like medication, their brushes, everything pet related is in Pet City. And this means if we need something, we know exactly where to look, and so does everyone else in the family too. It keeps everything tidier when you set up your home in regions, cities, and neighborhoods. I've been working virtually with Jessica McCabe from How to ADHD and her partner Raf to tackle their doom room. A few months ago, Joe and I flew to Seattle and we actually completely rezoned and organized 2 levels of their home in 3 days. But we didn't tackle the doom room. Actually, I feel like I kind of made it worse. So now through Zoom meetings, I'm helping them finally tackle this last space. And the amazing thing is, they were able to declutter this in 1 day. I mean, you couldn't see the floor because of the concept of zoning. Not only did they grasp the concept of zoning, but because everything was zoned in their home, when they came across something, they could think, where does this belong? And if it didn't have a clear place to go, they knew they couldn't keep it. This is the secret. And the best part, their entire home since we left has stayed tidy, and now the doom room is almost complete too. I can't wait to share that incredible transformation with you. It's coming up very soon. I hope you've learned something today, and I hope you're really inspired to map out your own home. I want you to walk through your house and pretend you haven't moved in yet. Don't worry about what's actually in the space. Sketch out the room and think about the region, think about the cities, and then think about the neighborhoods that should belong in those rooms. You may have to move things around. You will definitely have to move things around. But once you've contained all those categories, given them a dedicated home that makes sense, and made sure that all your neighborhoods, your neighbors, are right beside each other, which is right beside where you actually use those things, that means your home will stay tidy and organized all the time. So happy organizing, my friends, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much for those of you who have stayed to the end. Now that I've taken you on like a kind of tour of my house, let's talk about this house, okay? I don't want to feel like I'm unappreciative because I love this house so much, but also, have you seen the movie with Tom Hanks called Money Pit? I think it was with Tom Hanks. The point is, I don't really know if I believe in curses, but if I did, this one would be cursed. Not only does the backyard flood when heavy rains, now it also floods inside our house when it rains. Sometimes it's because pipes burst in the ceiling and rain on our head, but lately it's because our eaves troughs, which apparently were draining to a French drain in the backyard, somehow that French drain somewhere under the ground got plugged, and they just would backfill into our basement. I think I have water PTSD. Either the ceiling is leaking, the roof is leaking, the pipes are bursting, the backyard's flooding, or now eaves troughs just fill in our basement. Grab a lifeboat. You're gonna have to all have dinghies and raincoats for this house. Is it cursed? Let me know in the comments below if you ever have had a house that you felt like something just ain't right. I'm not talking about ghosts and ghouls up in here, but I am talking about the roof could collapse at any moment and no one would be surprised. Nope, just termites coming out the walls? Probably. Seems like that could happen. It's just, I don't know. Let me know in the comments below if you feel me. And if there's some sort, do I sage it? Do I I just decluttered my sage for my sister actually bought me sage and I was like, what the heck? I should have done it now. Sorry, Jen, I need some more sage. See you guys next time. I really did just declutter my sage yesterday. Freaking heck! It was in the random household bin. It is gone. Yep, just yesterday. Man, can I make my own sage? Probably needs to be sage. Yeah, nah, I got no sage. It's fine. I don't have sage because I decluttered it, but I have rosemary and thyme. An herb's an herb, right? How do you? It's just not really. Oh me, bad vibe business. Go away. House constantly doing. Is this something ain't right? Probably because it's fresh. It probably has to be dried. Oh my god! All I want. Oh, look at this. Be gone, bad mojo of floodingness. That's all, Emily. Yes. Yes. I cast you out, rain demon, water demon. This is getting weird. I in no way believe in any of this stuff. You know, it's worth a try though, worth a try.